Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2022 Lamley Awards. The time is finally here. End of the year. This is where you decide what is the best and, in some cases, the worst of 164 diecast this year. I've got all kinds of categories. We've been doing this several years. You guys love this. I love it. And this is going to be the best ever by far because we're going to continue to do the polls. Super Treasure Hunts is the category today, best and worst, and I'll get to those details in a second. But also this year we're going to do the Instagram tournaments that we introduced last year. We've made them even better this year. Each week throughout December, there's going to be a different brand that we'll kind of select the best of. I'll talk about this with our first category with Tarmac Works, but we select what we thought was the best based on collector response, and then we do a tournament. I'll do a live stream on Instagram to kind of seed these cars, and then we'll do a tournament throughout the week on Instagram. So you definitely want to follow me, Lamley Group, on Instagram if you haven't already, and where you can vote in that tournament throughout the week. Each week, different brands will introduce that, and I've even dropped the schedule here on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook, so you can check it out. But the other thing that's coming are giveaways. I'll shut up and get to the cars in a second, but I've partnered with Whatnot. You know, I did a giveaway a couple weeks ago with them. We're going to do it again. We're going to do it twice this year, this month, and they're awesome. More details on that soon. Look for those kind of mid-month, some massive giveaways. So you want to follow me on Whatnot. I put links to everything down there. You want to follow me on Whatnot so you can be part of those giveaways. And yes, if you can watch me on Whatnot and you're signed up and you're following me, you can win. You can talk to the 10 lucky winners who won part of the one-hit wonder stuff. So all those details are coming. I'll continue to keep you updated. We'll be dropping new categories throughout the month each week. And let's start with the Super Treasure Hunt. So the poll is now live on lamleygroup.com. You can go there and vote on what you think is the best and the worst of Super Treasure Hunts in 2022. But let's do a quick review so you know what you're looking at. This will be fun. All right, we start with these 15 Super Treasure Hunts. If you're not aware what a Super Treasure Hunt is, I can give you the quick description, but if you're watching this, you know. Each Hot Wheels releases 15 basic mixes each year. Within those mixes, they pick one model and do an enhanced version of it with Real Rider tires, extra deco, Spectraflame paint, and call that a Super Treasure Hunt. Randomly insert them in cases. It's always very cool. This is the first one from Mix A. This is the 55 Chevy is the actual name of the car. I'm just going to show you the Super Treasure Hunt today. There's always a basic version as well, but we've done these reviews. I actually did a video not too long ago where I opened all of these up. I'm going to try and just describe them and just let you look at them. There's a lot that I like. I'm not gonna unveil what my favorite is of the year yet until we do the award show later on. But the 55 Chevy is the first one. We'll park it here on our Dream Customs mat. Next one, right after that, came the BMW CSL. Official name is 73 BMW 3.0 CSL race car. Another one that we've seen just in basic. Oh no, we've seen it in premium as well. But this one done, it's obviously a race car. Some call it the Batmobile because of that crazy wing in the back. And yellow was the regular version. And when they do a regular, a basic in yellow, they tend to go gold. We'll see that again later on. They do go gold in the Super Treasure, and this one done in the Bilstein in Castrol Racing Deco, which I think is pretty cool. I can tell you if I like the model. I do. This is one that this casting I'll always collect, and it was cool to see it as a Super Treasure Hunt. After that one, we had this one. This is the Dodge van. Dajiban is what it's called. It's a drift van based on kind of a little cool drift subculture coming out of Japan. Ryo Asada designed the model, and then he introduced last year, right? And then Super Treasure Hunt this year. Purple was the regular version with 5 spokes. This one has the 4 spokes, which are really appropriate. That's why they put the Japanese 4-spoke style Real Riders on this one, because it technically, I mean, while it's a Dodge, this is more of a Japanese car than anything, to be honest. Obviously, they can take this casting and just turn it into a standard van, but the theme here is drift, and it's the Dajiban. So this one had that cool kind of Spectraflame purple. Next one, Studebaker Champ. This is a cool one. 63, right? Was that the year of it? Yeah, 63 Studebaker Champ, hence the number on the side. This was, I remember the story of this one. This one was released in Basic. We've seen it in Premium and RLC. Kind of like a fantasy racing Studebaker by one of the designers at the time who wanted to do this as kind of a tribute to, I think, I might have this wrong, but his grandfather or something, he did this casting, and I really love the casting. The first versions of this one were released with the Goodyear tires in Basic. So this was a surprise super treasure hunt, to be honest, and kind of cool with the racing deco. That's why it has the racing, because it's kind of a racing theme model. That's the Studebaker Champ. Next, this was a year we've seen more and more each year what I would call the plain super treasure hunts. Now, plain means it makes it sound like I'm saying they're boring. They're not. What I say is like the more realistic, where they take a car where they've done just the basic deco, like headlights, taillights, and left it straight up color, which, because it's like a street car, which I really like, and then they'll do an enhanced super treasure hunt where they'll just add the TH somewhere. This Corvette is one of those. So this Corvette actually represents two themes: the plain super treasure hunts we have, we'll describe the other ones, but also the Hot Wheels ID castings that are moving into Basic. Hot Wheels ID is done. This Corvette was actually introduced as a Hot Wheels ID, and then is moved and it debuted in the Basic range as a super treasure hunt. So regular blue. This one gets the 5-spoke reel riders. The TH is on the back, just very simple. And yeah, the Spectre Flame dark blue, which is a beautiful color. I always like the plain super treasure hunts. Doesn't mean it's going to be my favorite of the year. As a matter of fact, as I put this away, how you decide what your favorite super treasure hunt is, reason I say best and worst is because, in other categories I go most disappointing. We'll talk about that later. But with the super treasure hunts, I think some people will say a super treasure hunt's their favorite. The casting they like the best, or the choice they like the best. Some of them like the deco on it. Some of them like it looks totally different, like it was a complete and different upgrade from the basic version. There's a lot of ways that you can judge a super treasure hunt, that I think you would judge them a little differently than maybe basic and premium models, just because they're their own unique category. Here's another one. This one was very popular. I think in terms of popularity, this one is up there with a couple of others. This is the Honda Civic. 99 Honda Civic Type R is the official name, EK9. Another Rio Asada design. We saw the Rio Asada logo on it, Rio's Rides. Yellow was the regular version, as you can tell, because it has the gold Spectre Flame. This one had black PR5 wheels, so this one looks very different. The gold Spectre Flame, plus that kind of brown, or what would you say, bronze, or kind of copper-colored. I'd say bronze. I don't know. 6 spokes on this one as a Real Rider. This one, like I said, very, very popular. Goes for quite a bit of money. This is one that I was lucky to find in a Dollar Tree in Moab, Utah. All right, that's that Honda Civic. Next one, Käfer Racer, the VW, the Fantasy VW by Mark Jones. Wanted to see kind of like if you combine some of these racing elements from Porsche with a VW Beetle. We've seen this casting quite a bit in a bunch of different places, and now it got its super treasure hunt treatment. There's copper, right? That what I say is a copper Real Rider right there. It's a really cool color on the wheels with the 4 spokes. Racing style. I think this one is one that actually, if you just looked from the front, if you were opening a case, you really needed to pull it out to see if you had the super or not, because the color was, while it's Spectre Flame maroon here, is that what you call it? Or candy apple? I don't know. It was very similar to the color of the regular. But yeah. Super Treasure Hunt's a nice one. That's the Käfer Racer. Moving on. Another plain one. So we've had Corvette plain, Honda Civic plain, and this one, the Jag, is definitely a quote-unquote plain one. This is the Jag F-Type, 2020 F-Type. Debuted last year, then showed up this year in black, right? Was it J5 wheels? And then we had this Super Treasure Hunt, which I guess they call the Spectre Flame black. It's more of like a graphite color, or you maybe call it like a gunmetal gray. That's how it comes out. It's not going to come out straight black. 10 spoke. I think this is the first Super Treasure Hunt with the 10 spokes. Am I right with that? Am I right in that assessment? I think so. Another one, just the TH. Where did the TH show up? Oh, on the side, underneath the Hot Wheels logo. And then you get just the front and the rear detailing, which is kind of cool. on that one. That is the Jag. Next one, Mustang. Red Mustang, another one that you have to kind of look at closely to see if you had the Super Treasure Hunt. The real writers are going to tell you that this is the custom 18 Ford Mustang GT model that I love from Hot Wheels ID. Actually, it didn't debut in Hot Wheels ID, but had that amazing Falcon version. Now we have this Super Treasure Hunt with the mismatched drift style wheels and the drift kind of deco on it. I don't know if there's any enhanced deco. I think it was pretty much the same on the basic, but obviously it gets the TH on that one. So that is the Drift Mustang. Also has that spoiler that you can move around, but that has nothing to do with it being a Super Treasure Hunt. All right, another one that was very high in the collector demand department. This is the Hakoska Skyline. Official name of this one, it doesn't even say on it anymore. It doesn't even have it. It's like the Nissan Skyline 71, Nissan Skyline 2000 GTX. This one has the JDM Legends logo on it. Those are some Utah friends of mine. I mention it every time. Maybe I'm name dropping, but this was a cool one to see them get the shout out on this model. Very clean, almost plain outside of that stripe. Love the Watanabe rims on this one. And got the tail lights. I think Nissan really likes to see the tail lights done on their Skylines because they're so signature. But that one, again, like the Honda, very high demand, hefty aftermarket prices. Very, very cool Super Treasure Hunt. Another plain one. Another plain Super was the Lamborghini Miura. And this one also follows that other theme of Hot Wheels ID models moving into the main line. So the Lamborghini Miura also debuted in Hot Wheels ID. Now it's made its way, debuting as a Super Treasure Hunt. Orange was kind of a bright orange color. This is more burnt orange Spectre Flame. Headlights, tail lights, TH logo on the side. Nice and clean version of the Lamborghini Miura. Casting itself, I was a little down on. This doesn't mean I won't consider it for best Super. I just didn't like the big rear wheels. It just kind of throws off the Miura, in my opinion, in terms of just the lines that it has. But in terms of Super Treasure Hunt, it's a really good-looking car with those chrome GT wheels and everything else. So there is that. 4 more. Fox Body Mustang, the big Junimai casting from several years ago. He did the 93 Mustang. This is the SVO, 84 SVO. Similar in silhouette and kind of that big... June did a few of these that way in about 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. These big castings, these big Mustangs. And this is one of them. We've seen it in several different places. Purple with dark PR5s is how it looked in its basic. So this one looked quite different with the Spectre Flame Purple, which is a really nice color. Very different than the van, but this one's like a deeper purple with the chrome 5 spokes. This one really popped. This was when I was lucky to find it. 2 different family dollars on the same day. How crazy was that? I guess that makes sense, right? Truck's hitting one Family Dollar, and then down the street it hits another, and that's exactly how I found them. All right, that's the Mustang. Here's the Audi RS2. Another Rio Asada debut from last year that popped into the Super Treasure Hunts this year, like the Civic, like the Dajiban of the Rio designs. So this one in black with the Aerostyle basic wheels, and this one gets the Aerostyle Real Riders as well. So this one goes from, like the Jag, goes from black to more of a graphite gunmetal color. And it's another plain Super. So how many did we get? We got the Jag, the Lambo, the Civic, and the Corvette. So 4 this year. Last year we had the RX-7, the 300ZX. I'm not going to remember all of them. I think the Audi R8. There might have been more last year. I'm not sure. But we're getting a few each year, which is kind of cool. Okay, Golf. This is the 32 Ford. Now, this will be an interesting one because the last 2 winners of Best Super Treasure Hunt have been Golf cars. 2 years ago, it was the Ford GT40, and last year it was the Porsche Outlaw. And now we have the 32 Ford. So Golf seems to be, some of you say you're tired of Golf, and then we see these votes, and the Golf always wins Super Treasure Hunt. It does translate well as a Super Treasure Hunt, I'll say that, from that light blue to the Spectre Flame blue and orange. And the 32 Ford is a cool casting, kind of a Hot Wheels classic. We've seen several versions of the 32 Ford, including in RLC now. So this is a very, very cool model. And yeah, Golf Super Treasure Hunts seem to do a thing. Seem to be a thing. And let's see if this one kind of runs that tradition of Golf Supers winning. We'll see. But there's some really good ones, and we haven't even talked about what you might think is the worst. Just the Super Treasure you didn't like at all. Who knows? But here's the last one. God, how many do we have? You know, it used to be like 5 out of 15 supers were Camaros. Now it's down to a much better ratio. But this was a great casting to see turn into a Super Treasure Hunt. Kind of an underrated Camaro casting. This is the 81. Green, kind of a standard green color, but this one with the Real Riders, it was quite the enhancement in the wheel department. And then you have that Spectre Flame bright green, which is kind of cool with the racing deco on it. Underrated casting, like I said, kind of all the Camaros. And this is a very nice Super Treasure Hunt. Maybe that's your choice as the best. There you go. You look at those, you figure out which one was the best and why was it the best. So go and vote. The voting is the most important thing. And guess what? Hot Wheels, they look at these. They want to see what you thought was the best and the worst. But leave comments, either on the post or here on the video, of why you voted, but just make sure you vote. The links are in the description and in the comments. That's the most important thing, but I always like to hear your reasoning, so leave those in the comments because it's always interesting to see what each collector thinks. I am looking forward to your votes. Thanks, everybody. Bye.